And I can look up there and I can squint, and I do not see a trunk, I do not see branches, I see dark forms that maybe have some light popping through, some lighter values popping through, and that's fine. But that's something I can address after I get my dark shapes in. So if I'm looking at this, I want to find out kind of where the horizon line is. I know it's a horizon line, but there's a line that goes across here. That is an important thing to know. So this line is pretty high up there. The page is not split in two. If it were the middle, this is the middle, it's above that line. And then I see this shape, if I'm breaking it down into shapes, I see this like, almost like a 3/4 circle shape right here. And that 3/4 circle shape maybe starts here. If the middle of my paper is here, it's a little bit off the middle. And so I know that this is my, and it's got weird edges. Looks like the edge here kind of goes in, and it's kind of soft, and doesn't go all the way to this part at all, so I know I can't go all the way to the bottom. So that shape, for me, is this shape right here. Now, I know that this shape comes off here and kind of goes all the way across. So I could make that real easy on myself. And I'll do that shape right there. And then this shape here, it's above, and it goes along that horizon line, and then it goes a little bit above over there, so I know I got that shape. And then it kind of goes up over here, and I know that there are light shapes there, but I'm just going to generalize. So this is that right there. Now I've got this shape over here, and it kind of starts under this middle bar, and I'm totally ignoring the tree trunks in here because that's not my purpose now. I'll address those afterwards. Those are part of a detail. I see a little circle of light there, and then I'm going to try and follow this shape, and this shape goes all the way to the corner of my paper. So let's see if I can kind of get that shape. There we go. So what I just created, because I want to check my work now, I want to see, are these lines right? And they may not be right, and it'll be a push and pull, and I'll go back and forth as I go on with this drawing. For right now, I just created this funky shape right here. And so I can compare it to this funky shape right in here, and it's accurate enough for me. So the next step would be, I know that this is really dark in here, and maybe gets a little lighter at the edges, but it's pretty dark there. Now I know that I'm going to go darker with regular compressed charcoal. This is just the vine stuff. So this is like my underdrawing. And I see it goes dark here, a little bit up here, a little bit of fuzzy there. Maybe not as dark over here, so I'll just go lighter with my charcoal. But it goes kind of dark here. Okay, and then this over here, I've got this light hole over here, and all of this is just going to come in maybe a little bit lighter on the edges. And then this over here, it's got a lot of light stuff in between there. And my brain knows that that's probably like lily pads and reflections off the water. But right now, it doesn't quite matter because all surrounding it is pretty dark. So I'm going to do the whole thing dark. This shape over here, goes over here a little bit. These things, are last. I know I'm not going to do those right away because that is going to be like the cherry on the sundae detail to like show the person that, you know, I'm standing right here, this is in front of me, and I'm looking out in a distance. So this is a detail to show how close the viewer is for distance. And I know, I'm looking at this, this is not as dark as the rest, but there is this darker value in what I know is water right here. And also the sky, it almost has this shape here. The sky is a little bit darker in value here. So I'm just going to put that in. So that is totally my first layer for my drawing. And so I can turn it this way, and it's okay that you might not be able to see a landscape here, but I know that my shapes are accurate, and the only person that this layer is you. This is like the ugly stage. If you're doing a drawing, you don't really want anyone to see it yet, but you have just mapped out with your brain the shapes and the darks, the lights and the medium values. So half the drawing is done just by doing this stuff without even like laboring over branches or leaves or bridges, right? So
my problem is the first thing, even upside down, I see is the tree trunk.
I know. So, and I said that, our brains, man, they want to take care of us. They want to solve all the problems. And
that's my view.
It is
at
your
home
view,
of
yes,
trees.
but that's not seeing as an artist.
No.
That is seeing from your memory and from this extrapolation of your millions of experiences to simplify what you know as tree.
Okay.
That, as an artist, we want to get as far away from that as possible. So even though your brain knows what this is, even though you turn it upside down and your brain still knows what it is, you consciously have to turn your brain off. Say, stop.
Okay.
I'm looking only for shapes. I'm only looking for darkness. I'm looking for edges, right? And it's hard. It is a brain tugger. It takes, and every time you find yourself, your brain taking over, like, oh, leaves, you know, you want to do that. You consciously have to say no and go back to this thing. Believe me, this is something that can be completely learned. It's an exercise. It's like riding a bike. It's like, you know, roller skating. You have to create the strength. And before you know it, if you do it often enough, it's going to become natural, and your brain will not fight you anymore. Your brain will completely envelop it when you want to go into drawing or painting mode. Okay? You got this. Okay? And we'll remind yourself, you can even talk out loud. I talk out loud to myself when I'm painting all the time. So, yeah, we'll have music to kind of drown you out so no one will. All right.